Hello and shalom, friends. This is Mayim. Thank you for joining me for another Hebrew and Torah life coaching lesson. And this week's video is going to be about the Torah portion called Hukkat. And we're going to learn about the power of righteousness. And this represents, well, it's not the real rock, but it represents the rock from our Torah portion. It talks about the rock that gave the children of Israel water as they were wandering in the wilderness. Now, we're going to focus in on just a few, two actually, verses from Bamidbar, Numbers, chapter 20, verse 1 and 2 from our Torah portion. So it starts with Vayavo'u. This is a Vav with a Patach and then a Yud and a Kamatz, Vaya and a Vet with a Cholem, Vo, and the Aleph and the Vav with the dot through it. Together we'll say U, Vayavo'u. And this is translated as arrived, and they arrived. We can also say they came. And they came, and this is a Vet with the Shavan and the Nun and the Tzera and the Yud. Together, this is V'nei, which means the children of. V'nei. Ben is son or child, and B'nei is children of or sons of. Banim would be sons or children, plural. And then we have Yisrael, which means Israel. Yisrael. And then we have a kaf with a kamatz and then a lamed. This is kol, which means all. Now, here it's translated as entire. It can be entire, all, each, every. Really depends on the context. Okay, so kol. And this is hey with a kamatz. It says ha. Then ayin with that tzera. It says e. And then a dalet with a kamatz and a hey altogether says da. Ha'edah. And this is the accent on da right here. And this means the congregation. Okay, the congregation. So all of the congregation. And this is a mem with a chirik, so it says me, and with a dalid, this is mid. The shava is silent. It's just going to close out the vowel. The shava is often silent in the middle of the word. So mid, and then we have a bet with a patach, and then the resh together. It says bar, midbar, and this means wilderness or desert. Okay, and the tzadi of the chirik and nun safit says tzin, and this is transliterated as zin, but it's really tzadi. So tzin. And then we have a bet with a patach, which says ba, and then chet with a cholam, which says cho, and the dalet with a segel, which says de, and then the shin closes it out as desh, bachodesh. And this means in the month. Ba is in the, and chodesh is month. And then we have a hey with a kamatz, which says ha, and then resh with a chirik, which says ri. And this aleph is together with it, hari. And this is a shin with a cholam vav, which says o, so sho. And then the nun sofit closes this syllable out, so it says shon, harishon, which means the first. Harishon has the, rishon is first. And then we have, now I'm not going to do every single letter now, I'll just read. This is now vayeshev. Vayeshev means and. Actually, it means and he settled, or he sat, or he dwelt. And it's he referring to just one. It's not plural, and it's because it's speaking to the people, one people. It's not peoples, it's just one people, the people of Israel. So the people of Israel dwelt, or stayed, or settled. So Ha'am is the people. And then we have Be Kadesh, which means in Kadesh. In Kadesh, it's a name. And then we have Vatamat. Vatamat is and she died. Okay, died right here. So the tav, it can either mean second person you, or it can mean third person plural she. It can mean either. So here it means she. We know that from context. And the vav means and so this means and she died. Sham means there, and then Miriam is Miriam. That's Moshe's sister. And this is Vatikaver. Vatikaver means and she was buried. And then Sham means there. Okay. Now, the Talmud in Ta'anit 9a, it says about this verse, it says the Gemara raises an objection from a Braita. Rabbi Yossi, son of Rabbi Yehuda, says, these good sustainers rose up for the Jewish people during the exodus from Egypt, and they are Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. And 3 good gifts were given from heaven through their agency, and these are they, the well of water, the pillar of cloud, and the manna. He elaborates, the well was given to the Jewish people in the merit of Miriam. The pillar of cloud was in the merit of Aaron, and the manna in the merit of Moses. When Miriam died, the well disappeared as it is stated, and Miriam died there, Numbers 21. And it says thereafter in the next verse, and there was no water for the congregation, Numbers 20, verse 2. But the well returned in the merit of both Moses and Aaron. So what this is basically saying is that there's no coincidence that God put Numbers chapter 20 that talks about Miriam's death right next to Numbers 20 verse 2, where it says, and there was no water for the congregation. What it means is that right after Miriam died, there was no water for the congregation. And remember, Miriam is very much tied to water. She watched over baby Moshe as he was going down the river Nile until he came to the princess, and then offered boldly, very boldly. She pretended that, she didn't know the boy and that she would just help the princess in fulfilling her desire to keep the baby safe and to help her feed the baby by getting a nurse, which was very common historically, to nurse a baby, but to hire someone to nurse a baby. And that's what she did. She helped to sustain the Redeemer of Israel. And so it was through her, not only through Moshe, but also through her, that the Jewish people were saved. And also after the Red Sea, when the children of Israel crossed victoriously and were able to escape from Pharaoh's army, she led the women in dance in praising the victory at the Red Sea. So Miriam is very much tied to water. And so this is implying that the miraculous water that was given to the children of Israel, and of course it was definitely a miracle because, they were in the middle of the desert. And, the Midrash says that they miraculously, continually got water from her rock. And of course, yes, Moshe struck it in order to get water, but yet still, there's still something that Miriam had to do with it. Now, of course, this is Midrash. This is just Jewish legend. We don't know if this is true, but it is very interesting. And, in Judaism, we believe that every single word is placed there for a purpose. And even the fact that these 2 verses are there together, it's no coincidence. It's also for a purpose. And what we can learn from this Midrash is that the righteousness of a person, and in this case, it's Miriam, no matter how faulty they are, we know that Miriam, she was struck with sara'at, she was struck with leprosy because of her rebellion against Moshe. But regardless of that, there was still good in her. There was still goodness and righteousness in her. She was a hero for the Jewish people. She did many things. Salvation came through her, not only Moshe, but also through her. And because of her righteousness, the Jewish people were given water. And what this reminds me of is, it reminds me also of Abraham, when he said, to God, if there are at least just 10 righteous people, and he was thinking of his cousin Lot over there in Sodom and Gomorrah. It was about to be destroyed. He said, if there are at least just 10 righteous people, won't you, are you going to destroy the city? And God agreed not to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah if there were at least 10, only 10 righteous people. And this is the same thing as Miriam, in that the righteousness of the few, or the few righteous deeds of a person, even if they're faulty, they can do so much. The Torah says that we are salt, and we were to salt the sacrifices in the temple, and every Shabbat we salt the challah. This reminds us that we are salt. We truly are salt, and we help to preserve, righteous people. They help to preserve the earth. They help to withhold God's judgments from the earth. In the Torah portion, not too long ago, we learned about the snakes. When the children of Israel complained about the manna, God sent snakes. But Rabbi Foreman of Aleph Beta says, was that really fair? The Israelites complain about food, and then God sends snakes to kill them? Of course not. God didn't really send snakes to kill them. What he really did, he explains, is that he withdrew his protection, that there were constantly snakes all around the children of Israel. And not only were they being miraculously fed manna, but they were also being miraculously protected in the wilderness from all sorts of harm, one of them being snakes. And so what God did as punishment wasn't that he sent snakes necessarily. I mean, that's a perspective, but really all he had to do was withdraw some of his miraculous protection. And then there the snakes were. So God is always protecting us. And oftentimes he does it because on behalf of the righteousness and the goodness of people. And that's why our prayers matter. And, when we live righteous lives, our prayers are effective, are very effective. If we don't live righteous lives, our prayers still have power. But when we do live righteous lives, they are even more powerful. And not only do they help ourselves, but when we live righteous lives, they even help others. They even protect other people. They even help others to heal. And that's the story that we get here from Miriam, that her righteousness is as faulty as she was not perfect. She was a sinner, but still her righteousness helped to sustain the Jewish people. And so too, when we do good deeds, when we focus on God's commandments, when we seek to do his will and be holy for our God and be a blessing and be a light to other people, there's power in that. And we can be a blessing to others because of that. I'd like to invite you to visit my website at www.hebrewmayim.com. That's HEBREWMAYIM.com. And you can click on the button to sign up for free Hebrew lessons to your email, delivered every week or so. Sometimes I miss a week. Sometimes I'll send more than one email for that week. So again, just visit my website, HebrewMayim.com. And I also have special sections here. Not only can you sign up for free Hebrew lessons to your email, but you can also get my playlist to learn the Aleph Bet, even Aleph Bet with Elmo. And I also have a section on learning various Jewish prayers and blessings. I also have you can see all of the Hebrew lessons from Genesis to Deuteronomy. And what else? Oh, I have a section on ancient Hebrew. Learn how to pronounce the Hebrew letters in the ancient Hebrew pronunciation, the ancient Hebrew tongue. I have some lessons on how to trope or chant the Torah, specifically lessons for that. And then I also have links to links to if you're interested in getting more formal biblical Hebrew lessons or modern Hebrew lessons from a good friend in Israel. So you can check that out as well. So just visit my website at HebrewMayim.com. Shalom. Shalom, my name is Mayim, and I'm a naturopathic herbalist and holistic life coach, and I'm the founder of the Aruka Holistic Life Academy. Our students learn how to become effective healers using nutrition, herbs, and other holistic healing methods. I have found that to become a holistic healer, you, number one, don't need to be licensed. Although some of our students are medical professionals, doctors, nurses, etc., but you don't need a medical degree or a license to become a holistic healer. Number two, you don't need to study for 4 or more years in college. And number three, you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars for a medical degree or a nutrition degree or any other kind of expensive degree. I don't have any of these things, yet I have built a profitable online health coaching business. And I'll tell you the 8 things, though, that I have found that you do need. Without these 8 things, healers are ineffective and lack confidence in being a holistic healer. And most holistic schools and certification programs don't incorporate all 8 of these secrets, which is why many graduate from them, from nutrition schools or health coaching schools or herbalist schools, etc., feeling inadequate as a healer. So I would like to share with you my secrets on how I became an effective holistic healer and built a profitable online health coaching business. You can become the healer of your home and your community without the need for pharmaceutical drugs with dangerous side effects, hospitals, doctors, or even dentists. You can build a profitable online health coaching business without the need for years of college for an expensive degree. My mission is to show you how. Visit my website at www.aruka.com/free to get my 8 secrets on how to become an effective holistic healer.